live on YouTube, Ryan.
Nice. I like it when we go live on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, so we are live. This is another episode of Craft Brewed Agile. Hey, how's it going, Todd?
It's going awesome. I'm super stoked to talk to these fine gentlemen today.
Yeah, I am too. It's always a good chat. So actually, I was on Jeff and Paul's PubCast a little bit ago. Got a chance to chat a little bit, and so that was always fun. And I thought, well, if Todd and I are doing a beer thing, how can I not have the PubCast guys join us? I mean, that doesn't seem right, does it? And so Jeff Watts and Paul Goddard. Jeff and Paul are probably two of the top CSTs in Europe. Awesome trainers, awesome authors. Jeff wrote arguably the best Scrum book on the planet, Scrum Mastery. He's also written Product Mastery, and his new book, Team Mastery, is out. I don't have a copy yet. I'm eagerly going out to get one. I can't wait to read it. But if it's anything like Scrum Mastery or Product Mastery, I'm sure it's awesome, and everyone out there should grab it. But guys, welcome to Craft Brewed Agile.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Todd.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So we got to start with what we're drinking, right? We always name the breweries and the beer. So I'm back to Gathering Place, Todd. I can't get over Wisconsin's brews, and I'm drinking the Storm and Stress. It is a German black lager. It's a 5.3% beer, and that's all that's on the label. So that's all I can say. But it's another Gathering Place brew from Eric Weber, and we love Gathering
It is
Place.
minimalist packaging, isn't it?
It is. It's just a sticker, but man, it's good.
I've got a really good sticker on mine. Look at that. It's like flowers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. This is Spring by Treehouse up in Massachusetts. I tend to just go straight in with Imperial IPAs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what percentage this is, but I took a sip of it, so I'm guessing it's above 8.
Okay.
Yeah. Start my Thursday off right, I suppose. You know.
There you go.
Happy lunch. I've got a similar looking can to you there, Todd.
Oh, that is very
Nice.
similar.
So I'm wondering whether they use the same kind of. I can't see how because they're in completely different parts of the world. But this beer is from a brewery in my hometown of Cheltenham in Gloucestershire, and so I'll give them a shout out because they're a small startup that are doing quite well. This one's called Into the Haze. They all have weird names. They sort of run limited edition batches, I think. It's an IPA. It is 6.2, and it's very citrusy, sharp, and nice.
Oh, I love that kind of beer.
Very nice. Paul, how about you, buddy?
I got a bottle of Burrow Hill. This is Perry this time. It's kind of like it's pear cider. So I'm normally a cider drinker, but now I'm drinking pear cider, which is very nice. It's very sweet, 6.3%, which is quite strong for me. So my apologies if I start slurring my words quite quickly, but hey, it's the evening, so I'm gonna crack on now.
There you go.
My guess is it would probably be me that takes that throne. That's slurring the words throne, depending on how fast this beer goes down. Oh, interestingly, my glass is from Brewed by Numbers from London. I was over in London.
That's a fancy glass.
Yeah, it's a fancy glass. It's Brewed by Numbers. I was over there I was in London 5 years ago, and I walked from my hotel to this brewery. It's very good.
I've never heard of it. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I liked it.
I do like the glass. Yeah, it's got a nice shape to it. It's good.
Yeah, your hand can really nestle in there so you don't drop it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's like an essential part of the glass.
Is that a schooner or like a 2/3 of a pint thing?
I don't know.
Is that a full pint in the glass?
Yeah, I got this whole
500 mils in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So what's been happening?
Yeah, you know what? It's weird. We've just been working. I don't know about you guys, but over here it seems like things are coming back a bit. Training's firing up. Consulting requests are coming in. I don't know. We've just been. It's amazing. We're supposed to be like sheltered in place and kind of low key, and with this virtual stuff that we've been able to do teaching, I mean, it's we've been busy. How about you guys?
I think we're still a little bit behind. Well, certainly in terms of what's available to us. We were having a chat the other week with some of our American friends, Jeff, and they were they were talking about these mysterious things called restaurants that you have, which are now open in the US. I understand. We're not lucky enough to have restaurants open yet over here, so we're a little bit behind, I think.
Yeah, we're a little worried about that. Like, my wife and I have not gone to a restaurant yet. We still do takeaway and stay at the house. But yeah, it seems like things are opening up a little quick. And hopefully that's not a bad move.
You know what I will say, though, is I'm really glad that there's a decline in requests for virtual happy hours.
Yeah.
Right? Is it just me, or like virtual happy hours have just become the most awkward thing ever? You know, it's like you're supposed to. What's that?
I've never been invited to a virtual happy hour.
This is kind of one, but there's only 4 of us.
Okay.
It's not like a work thing, like work drinks.
Even friends. You know, you get 10 friends on a Zoom, and it's the same like things that happen in a meeting where you're like, oh, well, and I'm just like, I'm out of here. I quit. I'm not doing this. Right?
I think it was a novelty for about 6 weeks, and I think now the novelty has almost completely worn off. We were doing like friends quizzing seemed to be the thing in the UK. Everyone wanted to do a quiz every week. And now now no one quizzes anymore. It's just like, we're past that. It's got boring. We don't want to do any more Zoom now. That's it.
That was so last month, Paul.
Oh no, that's so May 2020.
But your quiz shows are phenomenal. They are fun to watch. You know, here like what we've gotten into is like the driveway beer, right? So everyone brings they bring a lawn chair and they spread out in the driveway and they just chat, 10 feet apart, and those are kind of fun. But
and talking to quiz shows, Paul's been on 3.
No, what have you been on?
Well, funny you should say that, Jeff. Let me explain. Yes, I'm a bit of a quiz show fanatic over here in the UK, and I've appeared on three I'm going to say primetime TV shows in the UK, and I've you probably maybe not heard of them, but there was a quiz that we have called Eggheads.
Okay.
I heard of that. 15 to 1, which is a bit more of a famous quiz.
Okay.
I didn't win that either. I haven't won any of these quizzes so far, by the way. And what was the last one I was on? Tenable, which again is another. But you might know Warwick Davis. Do you know Warwick Davis?
You know Warwick Davis, yep.
Yeah, he was the presenter. So that's as close to fame as I've got. I've met someone who was reasonably famous who presented the quiz show.
Very cool. I know someone who's been on The Chase over there.
Okay, yeah.
So, but they took
that's quite hard to get on The Chase, though. That's quite because a lot of money involved. It's usually a lot harder to get onto the shows where there's a lot more money involved.
Yeah, he got, I guess, totally beat up in the press for taking the bailout money. He took the low deal when he would have won a lot more. But I don't know. My British TV, my knowledge is limited. If Jimmy Carr is the presenter, I've probably watched it. Otherwise, like 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown. It's probably one of the funniest shows I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Didn't The Office originate?
It did.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais, yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess we kind of stole it and made the Michael Scott Office version.
Well, no,
the whole Ricky Gervais and Steve Carell wasn't there. The fake rivalry between that Steve Carell stole his Emmy or whatever it was. I can't remember. But yeah, kind of that whole skit that they did.
You guys have a couple really good ones. Like I'm a big Carr fan, and then Richard Iowati just kills me.
Yeah,
he's
got some good stuff over there. I like it.
Yeah.
So how much does our this is a silly question. How much does our TV bleed over and pollute your airwaves?
My daughter's well into American TV. Disney Plus is getting a good rinsing on our TV right now. My daughter just watches these things called The Lodge. Do you know The Lodge? She watches that, and she watches High School Musical, the series, and all this.
Daughter's on that. Yep.
And I just can't watch that stuff. I'm sorry. It's just awful.
Disney Plus is running at our house probably as long as the kids are up. There's something.
Yeah.
If they're not watching it, it's just on. So
The Mandalorian is fantastic, though.
It was.
I've watched the first couple of episodes of that with my son, and then we just haven't really got back to it. Not because we didn't like it, just we haven't made the time to finish it.
What was that? I missed that series. What was it?
The Mandalorian. You've seen it?
Oh no, it's The Mandalorian. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the weather has finally taken a turn for the better. Like, I don't know how it is over there, guys.
But don't start. It's been raining and hailing and flooding the last few days.
Really?
Well, it's been like 80s and 90s, and the kids have been playing outside and jumping in the pool, and it's coming. You guys, your weather's coming. It'll be good.
Yeah, you say that, but it probably won't. But
we had a very good May.
We were quite lucky. The first part of lockdown. We were mostly outside.
Driest and warmest May ever on record. Literally,
our May was terrible.
Yeah, it was wet. It was just flooding, and I think it rained 25 out of 30 days or 31 days. It was brutal.
So now you guys are getting the other half of that.
Yeah, we're getting that. Yeah.
Hey, talking about TV, I spoke to my grandmother today. My grandmother's 90, and she Skyped me to tell me that she's got Netflix.
Nice.
And she's been watching The Crown and Downton Abbey. She's 90, living on her own.
Has she got into Tiger King yet or not?
Not yet. She's got a friend in somewhere like just outside London, sort of Reading way, I think, and they've agreed to watch these series together, so they'll both watch the same episode on the same day, so that then they can talk about it. Because they don't get to see each other; they're just Skyping each other. I'm a bit proud of her, so I thought I'd just throw that out there.
That's awesome.
Found Netflix on her own, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well done, Jeff's grandma.
Using Skype as well. That's no. My parents can barely use iMessage on an iPhone, let alone Skype.
It's funny. My mom still will just start sending me emojis. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, no, Ryan, this means so. And it's like this string of emojis that I'm supposed to decode. And I'm the one who's like, just call me. Just call me. Tell me what's going on. I don't understand what it's almost like the old, I don't know if you guys saw Lassie growing up, but the dog would bark. It's like, what? Timmy's in the well? It's like, I'm reading these emojis. I'm like, wait, is my dad okay? Like, what is going on here? It's, Mom, just call. They're fun.
My kids don't understand. So my kids have just had their birthdays, so they're 11 and 9 now, and they're almost exclusively been brought up on iPhones. The only phone device that they understand really are iPhones. And my mum, their grandmother, has only got a very old, I think it's like a Motorola. It's some old prehistoric phone that doesn't do emoji. It doesn't do any type of iMessage emojis, anything like that. So they're trying to text my mum, and they're saying, well, why isn't she responding? You can't text her. She won't get all these emojis that you're sending. They just come through as these garbage texts, and she sends her like a reply in like massive capital letters because she can only do capital letters in text. And why is Nana shouting at me? Why is Nana shouting at me?
She's still pressing the 3 button 4 times again.
Yeah, but you used to have people that could like text at like speed across the digits and the keypad. Speed texting was incredible.
Do you remember the game Snake on those phones too?
Yeah.
When you just had that game Snake.
Uh-oh. What has he got?
Still got.
I dug this out the other day, and it's been charging for about three days. You see that?
Oh, nice. I remember that.
Still works.
Is that technically still BT's property?
No, see, Jeff, I don't think it. I hope not.
You just gave him a little panic moment there. He's like, wait, maybe Jeff's right.
Did I actually buy this, or did I inherit it? Yeah, maybe. No, it still works. The battery life of these things was incredible. Love my Nokia. I love Snake. I love the simplicity of it. The battery.
I had the Razor flip phone. You remember the Razor? It was like that. It was all the big deal. I was super.
Was that the Matrix phone? Was that the Matrix one, or was that another one?
I don't remember.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me. I watched the most epic trailer. We should play this. I don't know if we'd get in trouble on YouTube, but speaking of Matrix, it made me think of Keanu Reeves, which made me think of Bill and Ted's Part 4.
Yeah, they're filming it, or they filmed it.
It is going to happen.
Yeah.
Like I showed my wife, and she's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Babe, they're doing another Bill and Ted's." And she's like, "No way!" Like that was like our childhood. Like that's the movie. I can't believe they got Keanu to do it.
We're getting a Top Gun, another Top Gun.
We're getting a Top Gun. We're getting another Matrix.
But all these films have been put back, haven't they, because of coronavirus? So I think a lot of them we were due to get this summer, and we're going to have to wait probably another 12 months to get them. But
yeah.
Oh well.
New Chris Nolan film as well, Tenet. Have you heard of that? About that one? That looks good as well. That's coming. It's supposed to be in the summer, but it might get delayed.
Seen adverts for that, I think.
None of these films Jeff's seen, by the way. Have you heard Jeff's?
I've seen The Matrix. I was only thinking today, actually, that it might be time for me to watch The Matrix again.
No. Well, Jeff gets a lot of work done. Like, he gets books written, and we're off watching movies, and he's off cranking out masterpieces of agile knowledge.
There you go, Goddard.
I know, but in some respects, Jeff, I'd sacrifice just one of those books for you to have watched another 10 or 15 films that you really should have seen by now.
All right, Paul, which book?
This came up the other day, Brian. He hasn't seen Shawshank Redemption. Now name me someone else who has not seen that film. And that's just beyond...
Jeff, I'm kind of with Paul on this. I think you could sack a book for Shawshank's a pretty good one.
You
can't not see that.
There's a list of films that I really should see. Absolutely, I admit that. Absolutely, and there's a weird perverse logic to it, because I look at a film and I think I have had them on my TV there on the planner thing that I could just press play and they'll play. But I think 2 hours.
It's a lot.
No, I'll watch an episode of Peaky Blinders instead, because that's only 50 minutes.
That's a good trade.
Yeah, and then, but what the perverse logic is, I'll end up watching 3 episodes of Peaky Blinders, which is longer than the film.
Yep.
But because they're in little increments, it's easier for me to digest. I find the commitment to watch a film at home difficult.
But there are certain films that if I happen to stumble across it like at 11 o'clock at night, for that time, just browsing on channels and thinking. And there'll be a film that starts. I think the latest one I saw was Inception, which you think, oh, now I'm hooked. Now you think I can't not finish this film. I've got to watch the whole thing, and it'll get to like 1:30 a.m. and I'm thinking, I should have gone to bed 3 hours ago. But that's the secret of a good film. It can hook you in that first 15 to 30 minutes.
When Inception is so like elaborate in the plot that you can watch it one week and watch it maybe like a couple weeks later, and you notice different things about it, like those really deep, intricate. And I actually got hooked watching Karate Kid. It was started at 11 o'clock at night. Old school Karate Kid. I'm going to pay attention to really little things that I don't think I ever paid attention to before. And then I started questioning the whole movie, especially after the Cobra Kai series on YouTube Red.
You'll have to
explain. It's a must watch.
You haven't seen that one either.
Oh, Jeff, we're gonna wreck your life in July. We're just gonna send you a list of things to watch. But you know what? Jeff is probably sitting there going, well, I've got a great relationship with my kids, and I get along really well, and the business is going. Yeah, he's trading all of that good success for movies. And what we're telling him right now is, no, it's not worth it. You're making a mistake.
Yeah, that's right.
But a nice agile theme running through Karate Kid, isn't there, in terms of the whole shuhari,
quoted it in Scrum Mastery, which you're...
I had to explain that quote to Jeff to put it in the book, but but yeah, the whole martial arts learning. So it's a nice kind of theme running through that. Very good.
It's it's such a good movie. But then I don't know, Paul, if you've watched Cobra Kai on YouTube, they shifted the perspective, so it's present day from the perspective of Johnny Lawrence.
Oh, okay.
And so now they're exploring his life. And when I saw it come out, I was like, I kind of felt like they were about to wreck my childhood, because Karate Kid is one of those. It's like one of the 3 movies you watched over and over and over as a kid in the U.S. Mm-hmm. You had Karate Kid, you had The Goonies,
yeah.
You had Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And I feel like those were just on repeat all through my formative years, right? Maybe that's my weird childhood.
No, that's 80s, baby. I'm with you, Ryan. 100%.
But when they came out with Cobra Kai, I was like, no, don't wreck this. Like, Karate Kid 2 was forgivable.
Yeah.
3 was ignorable. It's like, all right, everything's still fine, but they could have. No, it was great.
Could have just left it there.
I think you've hit on something there, which is something that has caused a bit of a rift, a little bit, between me and Paul, and possibly more Nigel, because Nigel gets very attached to things. In that you're looking at these films from 30, 40 years ago.
Whoa.
1980 is 40 years ago. Just saying.
All right. Okay. Okay, that just hurt.
You're looking at these films, right, with nostalgia, and you're placing a greater value on them and a greater appreciation on them because of the impact they had on you at the time.
Right.
Now, it's impossible for you to put yourself in my position because you've already seen them. But if I watch them now,
correct,
they're quite shit. So
end call.
Yeah. But I'll use Jaws as an example, right? So Jaws is a classic movie.
Okay.
If you watch it then, it was incredible, I'm sure. But if you watch it now, you think, my God, the special effects are awful.
Sure.
Yep. And it's not that, it's just because things have moved on. And I find that I think there's that we call that the endowment effect. And I think that's we get over attached to things. We place greater value on something because we have it. And I think that's the same with memories and experiences. And that could be quite hard. That's one of the cognitive biases, isn't it? And we're full of them.
But also, the audience is changing, isn't it? The audience for those films now isn't really us. The man, the self-confessed midlife crisis, a male in his 40s, and that's not the target market for these reboots. They're trying to bring them back to my kids, basically.
Oh, I might disagree, Paul. I think when they bring this stuff back, they're trying to get our money. Our kids don't have money. What they're doing is they're jazzing it up to where our kids will be interested, but they're getting us they're pulling on those heartstrings like Jeff was doing just enough to get that wallet open.
Yeah, we've got the money.
I think they're trying to get your nostalgia, your romance kindled again, and say to your kids, "Oh, I watched this film when I was young," but you don't have to watch the shit old version. You can watch the new cool version.
Yeah,
and it's a win-win. That's
I would watch a Jaws remake. I would watch a Jaws reboot.
But you got Sharknado. Why do you need it?
So you haven't seen Shawshank Redemption, but you've seen Sharknado.
Exactly.
Do you know who's to blame for that?
And then you come on our show and insult Karate Kid.
There's no way I would have watched Sharknado if I hadn't been staying at Howard Sublett's house. And said, you've got to watch Sharknado. You've got to watch this, man.
So Howard's fault.
Possibly one of the worst films ever.
So I'm gonna text Howard real quick and just let him know that Sharknado is Jeff is saying Sharknado is his fault. I think he'll love it. Nah, Howard's a good dude. For those of you who don't know, Howard, former Big Visible, what did Big Visible become? Solutions IQ, and then Accenture, and now he's co-CEO of Scrum Alliance. Howard's a good dude. And if he showed you Sharknado, at least he brought you into some modern films, right?
That genre is expanded, hasn't it? I was browsing through Netflix the other day, and there was I can't remember the name of it. It was something like Beaverville, which was it was a zombie beaver film. So a group.
I wasn't sure where you were going there, Paul.
That's very clean. It's before the watershed. I wouldn't go that far. But it's about a group of kids that discover a lake, and there's undead beavers in the lake, and they've made a film out of it, and it's on Netflix. You can watch it.
Sharknado and Beaverville, they're in this genre of bullshit premises on Netflix, right?
But there's some producer that's put good money behind that, thinking that's a good idea. I'm going to put my money behind that.
It got made.
It's going to be right? Just like Alien versus Predator, which I haven't seen. But there's going to be Sharknado Beaverville at some point, right?
Sharknado versus Beaverville.
I love the movie, the original Predator. It is.
Predator's a great film. Which Jeff hasn't seen.
It is still good. It still holds up. That Alien versus Predator stuff was.
You know what films haven't held up, in my opinion? Indiana Jones.
Oh, no.
Because the special effects?
No, I have to disagree. I'm going to end the call now. So yeah, Indiana Jones is a huge part of my childhood. I can remember the script and all sorts. Yeah, massive part of my childhood.
I love those movies too, but I watch them and the special effect, like you see him punch and it's like 3 feet away from the guy, and then all of a sudden the guy like flips into a wheelbarrow, right?
Well, it's supposed to be like the over the top, because like, you know, even when he punches, they do that real big sound effect, and when he fires his little like revolver, they do like a cannon. Like, it's supposed to be over the top. It's like it's a fun film, right? It's got one of the best lines. I still quote it today. Like, they're in the submarine, and Marion makes fun of Indiana Jones for being old, and he just turns to her and he goes, "Honey, it's not the age, it's the miles," and he falls asleep. And I'm like, what a great line! Like, it's just, I'm not old, it's just the miles.
Yeah.
Such a
I
good
actually
movie.
bought the Indiana Jones box set on iTunes for my kids when we were going on holiday. I thought, no, I'd give them, because I have seen, I know I've seen one Indiana Jones film. I might have seen two. I don't know. I thought, oh, let's see what they think, and they weren't interested in the slightest. That was a waste of money.
But they should, again, with that, they shouldn't have made, in my opinion, Todd, they shouldn't have made the fourth one.
I agree.
Yeah, right.
They should have stayed at 3, and they should never have gone back to it. But I think there's still a script out there for Indiana Jones 5, isn't there?
Yep.
I think Harrison Ford is still signed up to do a 5th one, even though he's about 104 years old. But yeah, apparently.
I don't know. Yeah, so now we're movie critics.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no point in me answering this question, but if you could have played one role in a film, what would it have been?
Ooh. That's an amazing question. If I could have played the role, jeez.
I don't think I want to answer this.
Todd's
Go on, Tom.
So I have sometimes these things come to my mind and I get myself in trouble. Like we're live on YouTube. I want to say right now with the mood that I'm in, I'm going to say I would have loved to be Will Ferrell in what was that movie with the fraternity?
Oh, Old School.
Old School. Yeah. I mean, he just seemed like he was having a great time.
Great time.
Yes. I mean, I don't want his divorce situation, but maybe we could go run through the quad to the gymnasium.
Going streaking.
Yeah.
Man, what would be a fun? You know what? I have to be true to my childhood. I would go Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I mean, we all like played pretending we were Jedi growing up. I'd go Luke.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's better than mine. What
do you think, Paul?
Well, mainly I'm heavily influenced by what I've been watching at home with my kids at the moment, I think. But Jeff will know I've always been a massive fan of Hugh Jackman and is Wolverine. So I'd probably have to pick. And I'm hairy enough, I think. I could pull the hair off, but yeah, the beard off. But I think I love comic book movies, and I love the character Wolverine. I think I'd probably play Wolverine.
I think they're looking at bringing Wolverine into the MCU.
Yeah.
Which is going to be just crazy. Like those movies have been great.
So far we have Wolverine, Luke Skywalker, and Frank the Tank from us. Jeff, help me out here. Jeff, help me out.
I'm gonna say Beetlejuice.
That's a great pick.
Yeah.
Nice.
Michael Keaton. Why, Jeff? Why?
He had a lot of fun. It was a fun movie. I remember it from a long time ago, and we watched it not that long ago. And my kids enjoyed it, so it's a movie that's, to a degree, stood the test of time.
It has. Yeah.
But you're a big fan of dressing up for Halloween, Jeff. Surely that could be on the Halloween list. Beetlejuice costume.
Yeah. I think it's perhaps a little too obvious. I don't know.
You like a little bit more mystery around your Halloween get-up, don't you?
Well, a little bit more play rather than just a person.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe haven't really got thought about this year, actually, to be honest.
If it'll even happen. Well, obviously Halloween will happen, but will there be a chance to go out?
You know what? I'm worried that it'll happen. Like I'm waiting next. I mean, I feel like we've been set up for like next month to find out that aliens are here or they're coming, and the month after for an asteroid, and the month after that for some kind of volcano to go off, and I just feel a progression coming.
Yeah.
That I'm not confident that Halloween's actually going to happen.
Are you buying into this whole Mayan calendar rereading?
No. I just think it's been one of those years where it's like we've got the locusts, we have the pandemic.
Yeah.
If frogs start falling out of the sky, I'm going to be praying hard. That's all it's getting wild.
Yeah.
So I suppose we should ask one thing about Agile.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I'm interested in two things, really. Jeff, I'm really interested in what inspired you for team mastery.
Okay.
And I'm also interested in what inspired you both to start your PubCast. So,
which do you want first?
Which one do you feel like talking about first?
Team mastery is kind of a pull in a way, in that I had so many people say, "So when are you going to write the third one?" And I thought, wow. But a massive part of the inspiration was obviously my wife had our third child, and we were on holiday, and part of there's a big gap between our kids. So we've got a 17-year-old, a 13, almost 14-year-old, and now a 1-year-old. And so a lot's changed since we last had kids. And one of the things that's changed is this idea of milestone cards. So my littlest took his first steps, like started walking the other day. And we've got this box of cards where you take out I took my first steps, and you take a picture with him and the milestone card, and you post it and you brag about it to all your friends on social media. I thought that was pretty cool. And I thought, because I've one of the big conversations that you generally have is, well, what are agile maturity models, and how do you know things are getting better, and what are the different degrees of self-management within a team and stuff like this. And I didn't really see that there was one, because every great team that I'd seen or been part of had been different. They'd taken their own different path. So I saw this as an opportunity to kind of put a few things together, in that every team is different, but there are some pretty common milestones that they go through, not necessarily in the same order. And that idea of, well, what are they, and what is great, and how do you know that how do you know what to work towards, and give you something to celebrate and actually cement and solidify the achievements. So that's where that came from. Paul's got more of a memory about the PubCast, I think.
I don't know. I think it was.
How long ago was it? We had an anniversary not long ago.
I think it's over. Well, it's probably just had our 4th year anniversary now in May. We started it in May 2016. So it was probably just one of those. I was thinking about getting another kind of media out, in terms of another product, if you like, another way of getting to our network and our connections. And I thought about doing podcasting before, and then Jeff and I just mused on the fact, well, could we do something together? And then we said, we don't want to make it too. We like the fact it's kind of, well, we didn't want to spend too long polishing something. We didn't want it to take too much time. So it all started with this. I've got it on my desk, actually. It was this. This was where it all started. A little kind of handheld dictaphone, and we just started plugging pressing record on that while we were in the pub. And a lot of it was nonsense. The
amount of times that we were sat having a chat and thinking, this is gold. This is gold.
Yeah.
We're so clever when we're drinking.
Yeah. But, we just thought maybe there'd be an element of just talking about what we were drinking, a little bit to make us appear human, but also to maybe get a couple of anecdotes or a couple of little nuggets that people might remember. And it's kind of just, because it's been quite easy to do. I think it's has played into how long it's been around. So it's usually, apart from this week, I seem to have been editing for about 8 hours this week, but it's usually quite an easy thing to put out. And the feedback that we've got is generally people quite like it because it's quite informal. Yeah. So we've kind of kept it, really.
So you got to go with this format then, Paul. Just stream right to YouTube and just hit done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, we have done a few of those. We were experimenting with that. We actually not one of our last courses we did. I don't know when it was, but we were in Dublin, and we had about 4 different devices set up. So we had one that was streaming live to Facebook, one that was streaming live to YouTube, one that was streaming live through something else. And we had people in the pub as well who were asking us questions. And yeah, it's nice when you have the opportunity to interact as well.
Yep.
We do get a few funny looks when we all of a sudden we don't ask for permission and just take over a whole desk with lighting and microphones, and people think, are you a TV crew? No.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, we have to be quite a bit more careful. But and there's a lot of the stuff we've lost purely because of the audio wasn't clean enough, or there was just too much background noise, and there's a lot of the stuff that ended up on the cutting room floor would probably get me and Jeff into a lot of trouble. But maybe that's not a bad thing.
I feel the same way about Agile for Humans. You know, the podcast that Jeff loves to forget, the forgettable podcast, right, Jeff? But I was spending so much time editing the thing. I told Todd, if we do something different, it's got to be, it's just got to go. Like, and if we say something goofy, we say something goofy. We're human beings. Yeah. Hopefully we're decent human beings. It won't be too far out there. But yeah, the work that goes into this stuff is just immense. But this is I think people are enjoying just kind of our authentic selves. It's like, oh, look, these guys are on stage and they do a lot of stuff, but they all like, well, 3 of them like Back to the Future, or Jeff is totally unrelatable, but it's fine. It's
yeah. Well, Beetlejuice and Frank the Tank are going against Wolverine and Luke Skywalker.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, I'll take that any day, Jeff. We're gonna win, are we? Yeah, that's a lot of the feedback that we've gotten on this too. Is like this is just completely and utterly no plan, just sit and have a conversation. It's really human, and sometimes we barely talk about Agile at all. I thought it was I was curious about where both of those, the origins of those things came from. That's kind of a cool story for you, Jeff, about where Team Mastery came from. And well, it sounds like you guys kind of started in the same path we did with Craft Brewed Agile with this thing. So.
But it's got to be like insane pressure, Jeff. I mean, Scrum Mastery came out and people just love it, right? And so then you follow up with Product Mastery and people just love it. I mean, are you writing Team Mastery thinking, man, this thing cannot be trash? Like, this thing has got to be, I mean, does that add anything to it?
No, I see what you're saying. I think I had a sort of ace up my sleeve, an accidental ace up my sleeve, if you like, in that I went down, because this was going to be so expensive to produce the way that I wanted it to be. I was going to have to stump up a lot of cash to get it going, funding it myself. I went down a Kickstarter route.
Yep.
And that got a lot of support already, and so that kind of took the pressure off a little bit, put a little bit of different type of pressure on, but also there were quite a few people that actually wanted to get involved in helping me. So I had about 15 people or so who voluntarily helped me critique it while it was being written, and actually contributing some of their experiences. And so I was getting the feedback while it was going from people, the kind of people who were going to read it. And they've already committed their money, so they want it to be good. So right. I knew their feedback was going to be useful, and so I think that was a big help. It wasn't a conscious approach as such, but it certainly helped.
Cool. So as we get close to the time box, how can I'm not sure. Like Todd and I are doing a lot of online courses now. We've worked with Zoom and Mural. We're kind of figuring out that landscape, and people seem super happy. Can people take classes from you guys now? Are you doing the online virtual stuff? How can they connect with you? Like, what are some of the offerings? We got about 2 or 3 minutes left. Like, how can people kind of, if they can go to classes, do you have them on offer? Of course, the books on Amazon and a bunch of different sites. Like, what kind of stuff do you want to get out there before we call this done?
So I'm not really doing a huge amount of training at the moment. I haven't got any public courses at the moment. I'm doing a lot of coaching. So I'm working specifically with one or two clients, and that's taking up my time, and that's my focus. Paul's got some really cool new workshops that he's come up with, though, that I think would be worth you guys having a look at. But I won't talk them down. Paul can.
Thanks, Jeff. So I've put my most recent thing is I've put my book or my improv sessions online. So I'm doing some 5 online improv startup sessions based on the 5 chapters in my book for anyone that's keen to have a little bit of a look at how improv can help from an Agile point of view, help Agile team members, Scrum Masters or leaders pick up new communication, creativity skills, that type of thing. So I'm running the first one next month. So if anyone, and of course the benefit is that online, anyone across the globe can join. So they're just 5 90-minute sessions over 5 weeks.
Nice. So hit us in a tweet with that stuff. We'll retweet it out. We'll make sure people know about it. And I hope those run.
Cool. Sorry to interrupt. I know you're in a bit of a wind down here, but years ago, so a lot of people that I work with, it's the most common fear is public speaking.
Yep.
People are more people are afraid and more afraid of public speaking than death. And I find that incredible. But I was one of those people that was absolutely paralyzed by public speaking. And for someone who's made a job out of a lot of public speaking, both in a training room and in a boardroom and in conferences, that was a massive hurdle to get over. And one of the biggest things that helped me with that was going along to an improv class, knowing that actually I can develop the skills to be able to respond in the moment and trust myself and work things through without having a plan. And I think there's so much to gain from that kind of skill in the Agile space, not just from a teamwork, not just from a leadership perspective, but from a personal fulfillment and self-confidence point of view. I think it's an incredible skill to invest in.
No, I totally agree. In the U.S. here, there's an awesome young lady. Her name's Jessie Sterenshoes, and she does a lot of the improv stuff. And I've had a chance to work with her a little bit on shows and at some conferences. And her whole thing is, she said something to me once, and it stuck with me, and it made me instantly a much more confident speaker. Like, I already like the attention, so I like being on stage. I'm one of those weirdos that I'm like, sure, I'll go give an hour-long talk and not have a plan and just figure it out, right? But she's like, the whole audience wants you to be successful. Whether it's an improv session or whether it's a talk or whatever it is, like, they want you to do great. They're there because they want something awesome. It's like, oh, they're on my side. And that, for some reason in my brain, that like took down a barrier and it took some pressure off. And it's kind of an interesting thought. So yeah, I totally agree. The improv stuff is what a great skill. And plus, I mean, if you can have fun and just be a little goofy and no one really cares, it's like, all right, that kind of just, it's like, it almost takes the pressure off. Right.
Yeah. I may need to check that out because I'm not a big
we need to get Todd.
Yeah. I could use that skill.
We got to get Todd in that class.
Yeah. I am the opposite of Ryan when he says that. I'm like, I got to prepare for like 10 days. Yeah. Everybody wants me to bomb this.
No.
It's not going to work out.
Oh, you're more than welcome, Todd. You're more than welcome to join us.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Well, guys, we'll let you get on with your evening. We know that it's your nighttime over there and you got stuff to do and probably dinner and family and all that fun stuff. So we'll let you wind down your day. Thanks for joining us.
This was great to chat, guys.
Fun.
Yeah, cheers.
Hope we do it again sometime real soon.
Take care.
Cheers, guys. All the best.
Yep. Take care, guys.